Good morning. So I have just finished up my morning routine and I've gotten a second cup of tea. This tea is actually Smuggler's Blend. It's a Cornish tea and I had it in the cabinet for a while and I got it out because I was doing a read along with some Litzy friends of Rosamund Pilcher's The Shell Seekers, and they talk about Cornwall all the time and going back to visit and whatnot. So I got out the Cornish tea. It's quite lovely. And my mug, look at that, with books. That was a gift from a friend. It is just adorable. So yeah, I'm out here on the patio. We've finished our morning tasks. Yes, we are in our breakfast at Tiffany jammies today. So we did do one thing extra, and you can tell I've been watering because there's water all over the patio. These two monsteras that last year they spent the summer on the book porch, and in the winter they were on either side of the fireplace, which I really like the look of them on either side of the fireplace. Even in the summer, it just kind of gives the room a little extra something. But they were getting quite dusty and they needed a good thorough soaking. So I brought them out here, hosed off the leaves and soaked them down real good. And we're letting them drip dry right now. Now they don't mind the warm weather. They just don't like the full sun of an Oklahoma summer. So we are going to move them up onto the book porch and we'll leave them there the rest of the afternoon and they can finish drip drying so they're not like getting water all over my hardwood floors when I take them back into the house. But yeah, so morning routine is done and now we're going to work on our first zone of our summer series. So let's go check out where we'll be working. So today's project is Zone 1. Now, Zone 1 includes the front of house and starts down where we pull in by the garage, that flower bed, which extends all the way front of house, around the corner to the book porch. So that's what people see when they drive by my house, when they pull up to visit me. This is their first thing they see. Well, kind of, sort of. I mean, because when you come around the road, you see the pocket prairies first and how beautiful it's mowed and taken care of. Himself does wonderful work, does such a great job with the mowing and all. So you see that first. You see that whole big thing. But when you pull up, this is what you see. So I want this to always look good. And because we spent so much time in June weeding and mulching, the garden is looking pretty good. And there I have been able to just kind of waft around in my jammies a lot of days, just pulling a weed here and there. But I want to do a tad bit more today. So we're going to get out of our jammies and put on some actual work clothes and get to it. We're going to start in the sunny spots and work our way down. So yeah, we're going to finish our tea, put on some real clothes and get to it. So we're starting here on the sunny end of the front flower beds and we're concentrating on weeding, although there's not a lot of weeds because we've mulched and it's keeping them down, which is really great. Weeding, deadheading, anything, trimming up anything that needs cut back. Also a little bit of thinning in here because we have some celosia that has reseeded in here, and so it's gone a bit crazy, and I've thinned it out once, but I'm gonna thin it a little bit more, particularly like we have some growing up against other plants, so it's a little more scattered out. And the ones I thin out, I will take them inside and either use them as a cut flower or I will plant them elsewhere in the garden. So yeah, I've got my nippers, my gloves, a bucket for my weeds, and we're going to get started and see how much we can get done before the sun comes up. So I literally spent less than 10 minutes on this area. The mulch has helped tremendously with the weeding. And so, yeah, things are looking good. I thinned, I deadheaded. I did bring a bucket of water out and give a couple of things that looked like they were a little bit dry. I gave them a little additional water. We'll continue to check things as we go along. And if we need to, we will pull the water hose out here and get this watered. I'm not going to fertilize today because I did that a few days ago. And also, I want to show you how I fertilize and how I do a lot of my watering. But I'm going to save that for another video. We're not doing that today. Reasons. So anyhow, this section's done. Oh, we're moving on. The next one is this little area right here. This is nothing but Nandinas and what is that? Boxwoods? Boxwoods? Yeah, boxwoods. It's a little hedgy area, and I've not really done anything there other than there were a couple of empty spots where a couple of boxwoods had died out. So I've planted some in there. So they're still a little bit small, but hopefully it'll fill in. But I haven't done anything to that section. You know, it's kind of a little bit of a boring spot there, but I don't, other than trying to like fill in and plant a bunch of stuff in front of that, which I don't know if I want to do that or just leave it be. So until we decide, we're leaving it be and just keeping it weeded. So moving on. So this is the next sunniest spot up here in the front border. I can see the shadows, the sun creeping this way. So we're going to get in here and quickly do what we did down there. We're just going to deadhead, pull any weeds. I spy a couple over there, but looking good. So we're going to get this done, and then we will move on down and we will be in the shady spots. I've finished with the sunny end of the garden, and just in time, the sun is creeping over. I did end up pulling out the water hose and doing a little bit of supplemental watering just because I saw a few things that were starting to look a little bit dry. And it's, you know, today's not too bad, but in the next couple of days, it's going to get really hot, start warming up again. And this weekend, we're supposed to reach 100. So I want to make sure everything is watered and good this week before we get to those very, very hot temperatures this weekend. I also went and grabbed my little gardening notebook that I jot things down and made some notes of a couple of things I want to research that I'm not quite sure how to deal with, and a couple of long projects that will take a little longer that I didn't want to do in this morning routine. And I also didn't get really crazy about the daylilies. They're starting to have some dieback, but if you let them, the bits that are dying back, you let them go a little bit longer, you can just pop them off, where when they're still a bit green, you have to cut them off, and it's, you know, more work and whatnot. So we got the worst out of there, and we'll just continue to work on it. So now we're headed down the shady side of the garden in front of my library. My library is over there. My little hedgehog statue is up there on the windowsill, if you've ever wondered what that is in my videos. And so this side never needs as much attention. It doesn't get near the weeds, probably because it's more shaded. And I generally don't do anything with these Nandinas. I just let them be. We have a few things that could use a little bit of deadheading. So yeah, we're just gonna continue on working this way, and then we'll head around the corner to the book porch. And this is a little side of the house I don't think I've ever shown. It's just around the corner from my library, and it has this hedge. and it's not really seen. You can kind of see it when you're coming up the driveway. But it has this big holly hedge, and we've not done anything with it other than when we first moved in. It had grown up really, really tall and was blocking the window there for the bathroom. So we did trim it back and shape it up each year. But for the most part, we don't particularly do anything with this. And it doesn't really get a lot of weeds underneath it either. So yeah, it's just a holly hedge, which I guess goes really well with my idea of the front of the house being more formal, because a holly hedge is very formal, if a bit boring. But like I say, this is like not a spot of the garden that people spend a lot of time in. It's a walk. Basically, you walk through from here to front of house to back of house. And, you know, maybe there's a water hose over here that we sometimes pull out to water trees and whatnot. So it's kind of just a quiet spot in the garden that we just are going to let be for now. So here we are at the book porch. It looks pretty good. Is there even a weed in there? Although, you know, I did walk around the house the other day and pulled any weeds that I saw. Not really anything that needs cut back. The begonias are just fresh in, so I'm going to leave those be. Looks like Mr. Nutney has been working over here. The only thing that I want to do anything with is, I don't know, can we pan down, camera? Hand down. This Annabelle hydrangea, which don't bang your head on the satellite dish, Annie. So here we go. This Annabelle hydrangea has a couple of dead spots. Like maybe they got broken in a storm. I don't know. So I don't want to trim too much because I don't want to cut off next year's blooms. So I'm just going to cut out whatever dead there is, and that will be enough. Oh, and I see a weed over there. So yeah, we'll get this done. And look at this limelight hydrangea. Oh, so pretty. So pretty. It appears that I am only getting a couple of blooms. So once again, might not be getting quite enough sun. But it's too hot to be moving hydrangeas right now. So that's got me all the way around the house. The only space left, as you can see, there is another hedge back here, and just off the book porch. Once again, it's one we haven't done anything with. It's just a formal, is that holly? Privet? Yeah, it's a formal hedge. We trim it up and we make sure to mulch down through there. And so maybe eventually we might do something there. I don't know. So it's just a little hedge that's off the back of the porch, gives a little structure. Is it boring? Yes. But, you know, not everything in the garden can just be, wow. So it's just, you know, a little, we keep it mulched. You can see down to the other end, the cypress roots, where it comes off from the cypress. The cypress tree is over here and away from the fountain. And we haven't done anything with that area either. It's just kind of what stepping stones to get through here. And as you can clearly see, not a lot of grass here. It's a very shady corner. Lots of trees. Mr. Nutney loves this tree. So yeah. So here you can see the cypress knees and the stepping stones, and we just keep this mulched. If I see a weed when I'm walking through, I pull it, but it doesn't require a lot of work. Could I plant something in here? Yes, I could. I don't know what that would be because I don't want it to be anything too big to get in the way of the stones that I usually step across. So yeah. And if I don't know what I want to do with an area, then I let it be. Just keep it weeded and mulched. And, you know, if an idea comes to me, awesome. And we may do that at a future time, but not do things just for the sake of doing things. So all in all, I have spent about an hour actually working. It does take longer when you're setting up the camera and moving things around and whatnot. It's currently 89 degrees. I'm a little bit warm. It's very humid out. Please note the grass himself mowed like 4 days ago, and it's already popping up again. With the heat and humidity, the grass just love it. So yesterday, when we finished working on zone 1, it had gotten too bright really to do a video. So came back out this morning to do that. Things are looking pretty good. We're not aiming for perfection. Just keep working. So yeah, we've weeded, trimmed back, deadheaded. Look. Oh, this is my favorite right there. Oh my goodness. That one. Virtuoso Violet. And then I've got a new little dahlia coming on. Oh. So yeah, things are looking really, really good. As I say, don't trip over things, Annie. This little hedge area, nothing exciting. I do need to put trimming the hedge on the list because it's popping back up. This spot. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Look at that. And yeah, we got a little bit of things being eaten on, but so pretty. I did not trim back any of the petunias up here. I'm just letting them go. And we'll continue to deadhead, to pull off this greenery. Look at that. Oh my goodness. We're not sure. The Lady of Shalott has new growth on her, but we'll see how she goes. Oh, look at this. Oh my goodness. Bees. Always like this every time I come out here. Lovely, lovely, lovely. And then Rupert's tucked up in there. And 2 more hedges. Tater tot arborvitaes on the front porch. My cute little sign that Claire got me. We've trimmed a little bit on this begonia. We could trim a little bit more. As I say, I don't really do anything to the nandinas. These are looking quite stunning. Look at that. And then on down to the library bed. And let me show you Hedgeford Haagen-Dazs. And then these red impatiens are looking good. This hellebore is struggling. I've watered and it keeps drooping. So I don't know if it's root bound or what the deal is. But we're going to give it some thought. And then you have this random holly at the end. And then we have the holly hedge there. And since this is a working garden tour, yes, a water hose is still strung out. So this little area here, we have the windbreak, which is nice. It does give the back of house some privacy. And also this really great tree. Mr. Nutney loves this tree. Such a great tree. And as I've said, not a lot of grass in here. It's a very shady area, thanks to Mr. Nutney's oak tree there. And then here we are, the book porch. This hydrangea, it's got some spots, but as I say, I didn't want to trim too much because I didn't want to cut off any of next year's blooms, so I did a little and I'm going to leave it there. But this is looking so good. Oh, look at this. Oh my goodness, isn't that gorgeous? That is limelight. And I don't have too many blooms, but I might get a few more, hopefully. I love this little statue and the white begonia. So for now, this particular bed the color scheme is white, but work in progress. And then back of house. You see the little alleyway there behind this shrub, another hedge. My pothos that is up on the porch is spilling down. So there you have it. All the way around the house is weeded. Weeded, deadheaded, anything that, the trimming and whatnot. And as you can see, I've already done my morning routine of watering out here on the patio. And we've got the fountain going. So that's the theory behind the Slow Summer Morning series, is we are not trying to do everything in the garden all at once. We're doing our daily routines, and then we're moving on to work in our zones. And when we finish one zone, we just move on to the next. And if it takes us 2 or 3 days to finish a zone, that's fine too. So yeah, slow summer mornings. So zone 1 is done. So we will be moving on to the kitchen gardens, which that includes the herb beds off the patio and the raised veggie beds. And the raised veggie beds especially, they need a bit of a refresh. So, yeah, we're feeling pretty good this morning. We could work a few more minutes. It's not too terribly hot yet. It's only 79 degrees at 7:45 in the morning. So that's it for this episode of Pemberley, Oklahoma YouTube. Don't forget to check out the Flower Friday pics here in the community tab on YouTube, or you can also find them on Pemberley, Oklahoma Instagram. So zone 1 is done. We will be moving on to zone 2, and the kitchen gardens are needing a refresh. So next week we'll be in the kitchen gardens. So happy Flower Friday, and I will see you next week.